What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of MMA Fight Picks with your man Ant and my man Jay. We are here to break down UFC Vegas. What is it, number 60? Sandhagen and Yadong Song. This card's debatably, I don't think debatably, I think it is better than the pay-per-view card that we had last week. So I'm excited for this card. I expect a lot of finishes. And let's jump right into this.
That's
We got
good.
14 fights, so I'll get straight to it here.
Ton of fights.
Yeah, tons. So we have Nicholas Mota fighting Cameron Van Camp. This is at the lightweight division. Van Camp looks like he is going down in weight for this fight. He was a 170er, so that's something to look at. Their past 5 fights, Van Camp has lost his last one. That was against Andre Fiallo. He took that fight short notice. And Mata lost against Jim Miller by KO, which was not a good look in my opinion. I think this fight kind of goes two ways. Mata either just grinds him out for a decision like he kind of did in the regional scene, or Mata gets KO'd. As you can see, he got KO'd by Robert Hale and then got finished by Jim Miller. So he is finishable. Van Camp has decisions, submissions. I'm pretty sure there's a couple KOs as well. So he's kind of versatile with his finishing ability. I don't understand why. I mean, I guess Mota might be a minus. What is he? A minus 210 favorite, but I don't know. Him dropping or him being at 155 is probably why. But Van Camp dropping down, I mean, the chin will be a little suspect. I can't deny that. I probably side with Cameron Van Camp though. I think if he can have a decent weight cut, I think the power should be okay. Should be more powerful. He also submission game should be better. So I'm gonna go Van Camp here. I just think Mota at minus 210 is not a good look.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you too. Van Camp is absolutely gigantic for lightweight. He's got all the submission skills. He's got good. He kind of goes for it into the striking. He's got good kickboxing. I'm gonna take him. I think there's a decent chance he gets knocked out. I think whoever wins this fight probably wins by finish. And yeah, I don't see any reason if Mata got KO'd by what's his name? Blanking right now.
Jim Miller.
Jim Miller, yeah. And Cameron Van Camp's way bigger than Miller, and he hits probably harder. So I'm gonna go Van Camp. I'm gonna probably start with a nice little dog shot on him to start the night, but yeah, I think the line's way out of whack.
Yeah, I'm in 100% agreement with you there. I'm looking at Van Camp's record. He actually is pretty much all submission finishes. Like almost every single finish is a submission, except for honestly, there's 2-3 finishes that are
2017
not by submission.
What's his last finish by?
Yeah. He has a ton of arm bars, darce chokes, different kind of chokes and arm bars. So if he gets his fight to the ground, he might be able to snatch up a submission and call it a night.
Yeah, and the one thing that you do is that Mata hasn't been subbed before in his pro career, so it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting fight to say the least. Someone's probably gonna get finished though.
Yeah, I agree. I think if fight doesn't go is a good bet on this one. All right.
Do you have that?
I don't know. We might.
No, it is minus 170. So yeah, bookies are on that.
Solid
value.
No, could be a parlay piece if you want to do that too. We'll move on to fight number 2. We have Javid Basharat taking on Tony Gravely. Oops, clicked off. This fight is actually one of the fights I'm more excited for on the card. It's the second fight of the night, so hopefully we get a good one to continue propelling the card forward. Basharat here, he is going to be younger, going to be taller. They do have the same reach. Basharat's undefeated. Gravely's pretty experienced for a 30-year-old. I mean, 27-3, it's a lot of fights. This fight is quite interesting. I think Basharat should be better on the feet. Gravely will probably have the better just outright wrestling. I would give Gravely the power advantage. I would give Basharat probably the speed advantage. And then the submission advantage is going to go to Basharat as well. I remember in his last fight against Johnny Munoz, a lot of people were pointing out that Gravely's only losses are really by submission. And so that's kind of what Javid Basharat's really good at is submissions. So maybe we all were just one fight too early. And the Muniz fight wasn't the submission fight, but it was the Basharat fight is where he gets submitted again. If we look at his record, he was submitted by Brett Johns in 2020, submitted again by Patchy Mix in 2018, submitted again in 2017, submitted in 2016, and submitted in 2015. So every time he was finished, it was by submission. Basharat has good submission, so I'm taking Basharat in this fight. I mean, maybe sprinkle the sub, but I kind of like Basharat just the money line. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I'm on I'm on Basharat. I'm not as high as I was earlier. I think that Tony Gravely is the stronger strength of schedule. And he is I mean his losses are like Merab Devashvili, Patchy Mix, Brett Johns,
very quality fighters.
Yeah, all of them are very, very good fighters in my opinion. I mean maybe not Brett Johns, but I think Nate Maness is really good. Anyways, and he's pretty good at finishing people. That's Tony Gravely I'm talking about. I don't think Basharat's going to be finishing him on the feet. I think maybe a submission would probably be the highest chance. But, the more I think about it, the more I think this is probably going to decision, and it's probably going to be a little close of a fight where each fighter has their own moments. I'm going to lead Javid Basharat, but, I wouldn't knock anyone for taking the dog. I think the line flipped, too. I think Tony Gravely was the original favorite for this by the bookies.
Was he? Interesting. I haven't looked at what the lines opened up at all on any of these fights. I probably should have, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like you said, Gravely is the higher.
I think he opened at like minus 150 or something like that, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Interesting. Well, we're both on Basharat there. We will move to the next fight. We have Maria Agapova fighting Jillian Robertson. This fight's going to be a fun one, I think. Two women who kind of bring the fight more so on the Agapova side. Robertson does like to, just kind of like a female Paul Craig, just always is trying to get to the mat and play the submission game. But Agapova is 2 years younger. She's 1 inch taller, and she'll have a 5-inch reach advantage. I think that'll play a big part in this fight, considering she's a much better striker than Robertson. And I mean, having a 5-inch advantage will definitely play in her favor. I believe Robertson's probably the favorite just because of the competition that she's fought against. I don't think it's necessarily a skill set thing, although we did see Agapova get the soul taken out of her by Marina Morozov.
Yeah.
That was just straight ground and pound, finished her.
Dominant.
So it was a very dominant win by Marina and a very dominant loss by Agapova. But I think in this fight, I'm going to go with the underdog here, Demon Slayer. I'm going with her. I think Robertson is just not very good, and she's super duper one-dimensional. She's kind of submission or bust. And if you're not like extremely elite high level, like a Paul Craig, we even see Paul Craig, he struggles sometimes. And so I just think that she'll struggle. I think Agapova can keep this fight up. And I'm going to go with the dog here, but I could look dumb. And so maybe sprinkle the dog on the money line and sprinkle Jillian Roberts by sub or something like that might be the way to go. Because then you get plus monies on both and come out profitable no matter what.
For sure. Yeah, I think Robertson, the only way she probably wins. I mean, no, not the only way, because Agapova, you can't really trust her gas tank, or like, I wouldn't say her gas tank, but like how she paces herself in some aspects. Like she'll either go too hard in the beginning or get too excited when she sees an opening. Well, as Janina Robertson, she actually is pretty durable. When I'm looking back at her record, and I think she is quite one-dimensional, like you said. It'll be interesting to see if her striking's improved at all. I doubt it. So yeah, I'm gonna be on the dog too. No bet right now. I have a feeling it's either gonna be like complete dominance on one side. So either way, whatever side you're on, you're gonna end up looking like a genius at the end of it, or like an idiot. So, I'm gonna say, for the purpose of the show, Agapova. But at the same time, I could see like a 50% chance that Robertson submits her in like the first round. So
yeah, exactly, and that's why I think I kind of just like the bet on both of them, because plus 125. I don't know what Robertson by sub is. Let me just take a quick peek. Robertson by sub is plus 240. So I mean, you could profit regardless if one of those happens. Obviously, you could maybe try Robertson inside the distance to play it a little bit safer. But
yeah,
that's kind of.
Sorry, one last thing too is like every time, like I've read Agapova wrong so many times. Like after the Hannah Cyphers win, I was like, all right, big on her for against Shanna Dobson, and then she absolutely gets destroyed at like a minus 1,200 favorite minimum, I think, against Shanna Dobson. Then I'm like, all right, let's fade her. Fade her against Mazzo, who's also terrible. I should never bet on that fight. And then she absolutely destroys Mazzo. And then I'm like, all right, like this is a grudge match against Moroz, and she called her out. Like, let's go Agapova. Like she's just gonna smash this girl. Gets absolutely dominated. So, if the history says anything, she's up for a win, and it's probably gonna be a dominant win because she fights quite good off of losses. So, I'm dogger pass here.
Yeah, no, and I think she fights out of Killcliff because she's in Coconut Creek, Florida, which is basically Killcliff gym. It's just not listed. So she's training with good fighters, good coaches.
I think they've trained together too before.
I did not know that either. We got next fight. We got Trey Ogden against Daniel Zellhuber. Zellhuber is only 23, so he's very young for the fight game. He's 9 years younger. He's going to be 2 inches taller, and he has a 6.5-inch reach advantage, which is pretty significant here. Trey Ogden's last fight, he looks bad, to say the least. To get outstruck by Jordan Levitt is impressive, if you ask me. Very impressive to get outstruck by Jordan Levitt. So that's not a good sign there in and of itself. Zellhuber should be able to absolutely pick this guy apart from top to bottom, left to right. Anything he wants, he should be able to do it. I think Ogden, his big thing is if he gets him to the ground, potentially, submission. But like, you look at like, what are these promotions? Blue Corner, FAC. Fury.
I think they're all in the Midwest stuff.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of like small promotions, and it's not really beating anybody good. Zellhuber, he's 23. He won Dana White Contender Series his fight, and then he took a whole year off. And not to mention, he fought Lucas Almeida and dominated. And Almeida is a very quality fighter. So I think that year off, he's probably going to come out looking even better than he did a year ago. So I'm going Zellhuber. The line is pretty juiced, though, minus 300. I think potentially, I don't know if he could get a finish, but I potentially could get a finish. If not, parlaying this guy is probably a pretty safe parlay, in my opinion. You pick him and somebody in the 170 or below range, and you should get close to plus money. So that's how I'm feeling with this fight.
Yeah, I'm mostly the same. Trey Ogden hasn't been finished by a knockout before. Seems like he's pretty durable. I don't really recognize many of the people he's fought, like you mentioned. On the other hand, Zellhuber is kind of seems like Like I remember watching, and that was a pretty dominant fight against Almeida. Or like, I mean, it wasn't like super dominant, but like Almeida's a dog, man, and he won that unanimous decision. Almeida's, we've seen he come into the UFC and absolutely dominate Chisano. And that was his first loss of his career, was against Daniel Zellhuber. Zellhuber is going to be bigger, stronger, probably faster. He does have submission skills. I wouldn't say they're better than Trey Ogden's, though. I really do think Zellhuber is going to get the finish, either club and sub or TKO, or else Ogden is just a tough motherfucker and survives all 3 rounds, which is possible as well. But like you said, parlayable. I'm going to definitely have him in something.
Yeah, I actually like him parlayed with another person later on this card. I have it right now. I don't have it placed, but I have it sitting there chilling. Nice 2-legger.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Plus 167 is what you can get. So that's how I'm feeling right now. But we'll get there when we get there. So next fight, we have Denise Gomez against Luma. Luma Lukabumi. I lost her name. This fight right here is one of the more straightforward fights for me. I don't want to parlay like a woman's fighter necessarily, but I'm not super confident, and I'm not going to straight bet her, so I don't know how I'm going to go about this, but I kind of want to bet on Luma. I mean, Denise Gomez, in my opinion, she didn't look very impressive 2 weeks ago on Dana White Contender Series. She's taking this fight on short notice. Luma's a pretty quality Muay Thai fighter. This fight's going to be standing up for the most part. I mean, Gomez will probably try to look to take it to the ground, but I don't know how successful she'll be. Luma's pretty good at preventing that stuff. I mean, Lupita, she took her down and she dominated her, but that's Lupita. But I'm going to go Luma here. That's my pick. I'm not sure how I'm going to attack her from a betting angle. They're both pretty much the same size. I'm not worried about their height, 5'1", 5'2". Like Luma's a small woman, but Gomez is also very small. So she's actually finally matched up with someone who's a little like her. So it'll be interesting, but I'm going to go Luma here. I don't trust the Dana White Contender Series girl, and she just fought 2 weeks ago. So she's literally didn't get any better than 2 weeks ago. Like, she had no development. She didn't look great then. I don't think she's going to look great on Saturday.
Okay, yeah. Shoot. This is a tough one for me. It's going to be a stand-up fight. Lupita's pretty well-versed stand-up with her Muay Thai. Believe she trains up in Thailand. I like her. I think she wins by decision. I think it could be close because Gomez did have quite a bit of output in her last fight. She threw over 100 significant strikes. Loma also has thrown in takedowns too. So if she's not completely being dominated by someone that's better at wrestling and grappling than her, then she should probably win this fight more times than not, which is pretty much tells the tale of why she's a minus 235. If I was to bet her, I would bet her by a decision. Her decision prop is minus 141. So
You know where the books are thinking this is going. It's right there.
Yeah, they're both quite little, especially even in this weight class, they're quite little. And they typically don't finish each other too often in this weight class. So
not at all. All right, we'll move on. We're both on Luma here. Next fight, we have another women's fight. We have Aspen Ladd against Sarah McMahon. This fight right here is not so interesting to me. Sarah McMahon is 41. Aspen Ladd is 27. I mean, they're the same height, same reach. They're pretty much the same fighter physically. I mean, I got to pick Aspen Ladd here. Like, she's 27. McMahon is 41. I'm just solely fading the age. There's not many male or female fighters 40 plus who are very successful in the UFC. And I mean, McMahon did get her last win against Carol Rosa, which was impressive. I will not lie, because I thought Carol Rosa was going to absolutely starch that lady. And she lost to Juliana Pena, and she beat Lena Landsberg, lost to Marion Renault, and then lost to Ketlin Vieira. But that was 5 years ago. So I have to go Aspen Ladd here. It doesn't feel good. I don't know if I'd actually bet on Aspen Ladd because boy is her fight IQ trash. But how do you bet on a 41-year-old fighter who's just not very good anymore? I can't do that either. So I got to go Aspen Ladd here. She's not even that big of a favorite. I mean, minus 130 is not bad at all, in my opinion. So I don't see why not.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to go McMahon on this one. Not confident at all. I think that she should be able to take her down, at least in the first round, maybe the second round as well. Bank the first 2 rounds. The wrestling advantage is wide. The strength advantage is what I'm worried about, which is going to make me not bet this fight. Aspen Ladd's kind of a do or die spot also, which is why I don't want to really touch this on the opposite side. And I could definitely see a 3rd round finish being live for Aspen Ladd. But that being said, I think this wrestling is going to be able to neutralize a lot of Ladd, what she can do. But, the age, 42 and she's almost 42. Less than a week away from being 42, I think. And Aspen Ladd's 27 and a half. My only concerns are 1, weight with Ladd. See if she makes it. And then 2 is she's got that weird relationship with the coach, you know what I mean, as her lover. I don't know, if that affects anything that goes on between them. But anyways, this is a no touch for me. But I actually, the only way I touch this is a Ladd by 3rd round finish, maybe $5, and I bet you get a crazy number on it. It's not out yet, but
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah, you look at Ladd's wins: 67% by KO, 11 by sub, 22 by decision. So, I mean, if she's gonna get a win, it's probably by KO. So it's not a bad sprinkle at all. And then, grappling wise, McMahon should have the advantage. I mean, she has a 65% takedown accuracy. Ladd has a 62% takedown defense. So it's just McMahon, she goes for 4 takedowns a fight. So she's kind of active in that realm. So if she's just active and Ladd just kind of quits and gives up, then it's kind of a wrap.
For sure.
All right, let's move on. We got Luis Cosi against Trevin Giles. We're about halfway through the card. Keep on pushing, try to keep this under an hour for the folks. So we got Trevin Giles against Luis Cosi. Giles is a big favorite here. He's sitting at minus 220. He's 3 years older. He's going to be 3 inches taller. He'll have a 3-inch reach advantage. I'm going to have to go with Giles here. This is his fight to lose, in my opinion. Cosi really can't hang with him on the feet. I don't think he should be able to hang with him in the grappling department either. This is truly Trevin Giles' fight to lose. That's all I have to say about this one. I mean, Trevin Giles should be better everywhere. So if he loses this fight, it might be time for him to get the little scissors because Luis Cosi is not the one that should be beating him.
Head back to the police department.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, for the purpose of the show, go Cosi. There's no fucking way I'm betting on Trevin Giles. There's no fucking way. I thought he was good potential before, but he's kind of just seemed to throw his last 2 fights away. Maybe it's just because he doesn't have a good chin. I really don't know. I think that Cosi's taken quite a lot of time off since that last fight. And before that, he was literally just coming in and murdering people in the first minute. Or
yeah.
If you look at it, all right, 8 seconds, a minute and 19 seconds, 18 seconds, 18 seconds. And then he comes on the Dana White Contender Series, a minute and 12 seconds. And then he loses in the third round against Sasha Platnikov. He's going to be durable as fuck. I don't think Trevin Giles gets him out of there unless he gets him in a crazy submission or gets him tired late and hits him with a bunch of shots. He's taken 2 years off almost. His last fight was the 2020 of November 2020. So I'm going to go Kosi. I'm going to see how the cards go on that night if I'm going to bet him. But if I do, it's probably going to be, he's either going to win by guillotine choke or by knockout. I don't think he's going to win by a decision. I don't think this fight is going to decision.
That's fair.
Minus 175 will the fight go the distance now. So if you don't feel super strong on one way, go no, fight won't go the distance, and then pick your side by whatever prop you think is the best likely outcome.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I will point out, this is Trevin Giles' second fight down at welterweight, so maybe his body is a little more adjusted to that weight class now.
And he does have height advantage.
He has a height and reach advantage here, so that's just something to throw out there. I don't know if it actually will factor into the fight, but it's something to consider.
This fight will say a lot about each of their career paths, too, in my opinion.
Exactly. I mean, if Trevin Giles just kind of gets him out of there quick, we could be like, okay, maybe Trevin Giles is not back, but there's a resurgence. Exactly. All right, let's move on. We got Damon Jackson against Pat Sabatini. This fight's another fight I'm very excited for. I'm excited for a lot of these fights, so I'll stop saying that because I'm almost pretty much everyone.
They're all good matchups.
Exactly. We got Damon Jackson, who is 34, Sabatini 31. Jackson 3 inches taller, 3-inch reach advantage. He trains at a Fortis. Sabatini's at the Renzo Gracie, the gym that has not lost in the UFC. I think they're undefeated at the moment. Right now, Sabatini is a big favorite. Not too big, but he's minus 190. This fight's interesting. I think Sabatini will probably have the grappling advantage, or he should, on paper, have the grappling advantage. I think Damon Jackson should have the striking advantage. Jackson will be bigger and longer, so I'm interested to see how that plays a role if it gets on the ground. I don't know. I've gone back and forth all day with this fight. It's one of those fights where it's kind of like how you said you don't want to pay minus 220 with Trevin Giles, but I don't really want to pay minus 190 on Pat Sabatini against Damon Jackson, so it's kind of like that same boat. It's not that I think Sabatini will lose or he's going to get dominated, but I do think Jackson has a legitimate chance to win the fight. I didn't like what I saw against TJ Laramie. Tucker Lutz, that was a solid win, but I don't think Tucker Lutz is very good. No. And then, Jamal Emmers, not very good. Tristan Connolly, not very good. So, he hasn't really fought anybody who's like that quality, in my opinion. That doesn't say Damon Jackson's fought amazing fighters either. But he's fought a lot better. Ilya Tapuria, he got knocked out, but he's been in there with more quality fighters.
He's been finished, I think, in every single loss.
Yep, I think you're correct. Fought Yancy Medeiros. Yep, you're correct. 1 loss, sub, punches, flying knee, punches. So that's something I also notice is, Sabatini, is he out here finishing guys? He has a couple. He has but that's not really his known for. On
he's not a striker.
The regional scene is different. I don't really. When I see finishes on the regional scene, it's not the same as when you go to the UFC. These guys are such high level in the UFC. It's just different. So I think I'm going to go Damon Jackson in this one. I'm not uber confident with that pick, but it's not. I think he's going to be in the fight. I don't think he's just going to get dominated.
For sure. Yeah. I'm going to be on the Sabatini side. But it's not very like you said, I've kind of gone back and forth in terms of who I think should win. I think Damon Jackson definitely has the strongest strength of schedule. I think he has really good jiu-jitsu. I think he has an okay striking game. I think Pat Sabatini has almost no striking game. He landed his most strikes ever with 36 in his last fight against Laramie, and a lot of them were kicks, I believe. And I think he accidentally hurt DJ Laramie with a body kick. Like, not to be mean or anything, but I was surprised because TJ Laramie is a pretty tough guy, and he caught him pretty well there. But he recovered and went on to have some pretty good moments in the fight, and it wasn't as dominant as you'd like to see. And TJ Laramie is fighting up a weight class, and you can kind of look at how Damon Jackson against Archuleta was fighting against a guy down a weight class, and he kind of struggled towards the end. Both weren't on their best performances. That's why I think it's actually a really, really fucking good matchup. And it makes it harder to bet on because you don't know who do you think's the overall who's going to be the more dominant fighter on that night. My guess is I think Sabatini is going to come out with the more elite jiu-jitsu, and it's going to be hard for Damon Jackson to counter. But with that being said, Damon Jackson has the perfect style to, give Pat Sabatini problems. So I think this fight's going to decision. It could be really close, but I'm going to take Sabatini. No bet, though.
Yep, I don't have a bet on any of these fights at the moment, so I'm just walking through these and giving my opinions.
For sure.
Let's move on to our next fight. Are we on the main card yet?
One more.
Well, this is the first fight of the main card.
Oh.
So we got Anthony Hernandez and Marc-Andre Barriute. Absolute banger right here. Fluffy, he might come in and try to grapple. That's what he did in his last fight. Dominant win. Choked out Vieira. So, his grappling game is solid. I don't think he's bad at all. He's training with Aspen Ladd over there. So, they're real prepared for this fight camp. Barriute is 1 inch taller. Hernandez 2-inch reach advantage. Hernandez 4 years younger. So those are a couple things to point out. I'm gonna side with Fluffy Hernandez in this one. I think the grappling advantage is just going to be extremely evident. I think Marc-Andre Barriute is going to rely on his striking a little too much, and I don't think it's going to matter that he's going to have striking because I think Hernandez is going to pick him up, is going to bring him to the ground, and is going to rinse and repeat over and over and over. I like Hernandez by decision, but I don't mind a little sprinkle by sub just to kind of cover your ass if that is what you're concerned about. I don't see a TKO. Just kind of see decision or sub. What are you thinking about this one?
Yeah, I actually like Anthony Hernandez a lot kind of in this fight. I think Barrial, he's the power bar. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of endurance. I think that fight against Njoukani was kind of a fluke. Rarely does he get – I don't think he's ever been caught like that before. And I had a bet on that fight. I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? But he's overall like a pressure fighter, boxer. I think Hernandez is just going to be able to push him, though. I think his wrestling is going to be the difference in this. Jordan Wright took down Barrial once or twice in the first few minutes of their fight. Of course, he got him the guillotine choke, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch Hernandez with that. I think Hernandez probably wins the decision. I actually have parlayed with Zell Huber for a unit or two. It's like plus 110. I think it's going to be a good fight. And I think Hernandez should win by either a late submission or a second or third round submission or a decision.
I like that. Yeah, I have Hernandez actually parlayed. I turned my 2-legger to a 3-legger. So I got 3 legs. My last one's coming up here shortly. So we'll reveal that here in a bit. But yeah, I'm on that fluffy hype, man.
Team Fluffy, baby.
Hell yeah. All right, let's rock. We're on the next fight. We got Tanner Boser against Rodrigo Nascimento. We got 2 heavyweight fighters right here. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to go Tanner Boser here. Nascimento, he's cool. But you're drawn with Alan Badeau, my guy. I can't bet on you, fam. But I don't know, though. You're losing to Latifi. So that's also not the greatest sign. But I don't know. Maybe it's dog or pass. Yeah, maybe it's just dog or pass here, man. I guess not. I don't know. I'm not betting this fight regardless. So I advise everybody else not to bet on this fight either. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely not betting on this fight. What happened in that Boser fight? It got overturned, but he finished him. He finished him standing up for like contest standing TKO. He beat Alan Badeau, but Alan Badeau, I think somehow
Yeah.
smoked weed or something, or no, or maybe he might have been popped for pills. Whatever. Anyways, I don't think he's very good. He's lost to Chris Dawkins in the first 45 seconds, which isn't terrible. He beat Dontel Mays by rear naked choke. He's hard to get a read on. Tanner Boser, on the other hand, he's had an up and down kind of run. He got Daniel Spitz's first UFC fight, won by decision, then lost to Cyril Gahn by decision, which is, in hindsight, it's not that bad of a loss at all. Beat Philip Linz, knockout. Rafael Pessoa, knockout. Then lost to Arlovsky in a fight that, was pretty close. And then he lost to Latifi in some dumb fight IQ, letting himself get taken down and held for a couple of the end rounds, which ultimately lost him a split decision. I think he should win. He should be able to not make this go to the ground. But this is a heavyweight fight, and I thought Collier had all the same attributes, but better, way 100 times better than freaking Chris Barnett. This man shat the fucking bed. He fucking gassed himself. And freaking, what's his face? Nascimento and Boser haven't fought in at least over a year. So I'm passing, but pick his Boser.
Yes, sir. We'll move. We'll hang on this one too long. This next fight, I'm gonna keep it very straightforward here. I think Joe Pyfer should knock this motherfucker out, right? But am I paying minus 500 for Joe Pyfer? Hell to the fucking no. Hell no. So, what do we do here? Pyfer by KO's even money, by sub plus 275, by points 400. I don't like that. I think if you're going to bet this fight, you bet Alan Amedovsky. You bet him round 1 KO. And you have a massive ticket. And you just, if he gets knocked out, which he should get knocked out, you call it a day. If he gets a knockout in that round 1, where you probably just cashed a plus 1,000 ticket or higher, most likely, with his round 1 KO. Maybe you want to do the same with Joe Pyfer, round 1 finish or something like that. But, you can't. A guy in his first UFC fight ever, granted, Amedovsky is not good, but still, it's probably the best competition that Joe Pyfer's ever fought. Outside of, he fought Dustin Stoltzfus but got his arm broken. So Stoltzfus and Amedovsky are the best competition he's fought. So I think Pyfer's gonna win, but from a betting side, I don't know how you really bet on Pyfer.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
For sure. Yeah, if you're betting on Pyfer, obviously he's got to be inside the distance. Amedovsky, yeah, there's not much going there. Guy's probably the worst middleweight on the roster. He's kind of undersized for middleweight. He lost to Joseph Holmes and John Phillips. There's not much worse things that could happen other than those two that I just named. So, there's no way I'm betting on him. Of course, he can land a bomb. It's MMA. Joe Pyfer could tear his ACL or some. Hope he doesn't. But, he broke his arm by a slam one time in the Dana White Contender Series. That was disgusting. And, that's just him trying to hold himself from getting slammed. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. Don't lay the chalk on him. And, hard for me to agree. It should be an entertaining fight forever, how long it lasts, though. You're mute.
My bad. I agree. I think this is one of those fights where you crack open a beer, sit on the couch, kick your feet up, and just enjoy violence. because it's hard to bet on.
Yeah, and if like, why'd you even take Pfeiffer? Just take full fight, go the distance. No, you know what I mean. Minus 435. You got to save a little bit.
Exactly, you get to save a little bit. Like that's what I was looking at. Yeah, I mean even under 2.5, like under 1.5. This fight's going under 1.5 most likely.
Yeah.
So I mean like even minus 190. Like that's a parlay piece. I wouldn't play it straight up, but under 1.5 and something else, you can get a nice little plus money on it. But we will continue. Unbettable, but Pfeiffer should win. We got Andre Fili against Bill Algeo. Bill Algeo currently is sitting at plus 100, even dollars. Fili is sitting at minus 128. Algeo will be taller by an inch, but he will have a half-inch reach disadvantage. I'm going to be honest. I don't know why Bill Algeo is the underdog. You couldn't. I mean, granted, it's kind of a pick'em now, but I don't know. I don't understand it. You're telling me Bill Algeo is not better than Andre Fili? Like, in what worlds? Because the world we're living in, give me Bill Algeo all fucking day. So, Bill Algeo is the third person in my parlay. So we have Daniel Zellhuber, we have Bill Algeo, and we have Anthony Hernandez. I think we put those three guys together. You get plus 319 at one of the books I'm looking at. I'm going to check my other one just to see if it's slightly better or worse. But those three, you get plus 319. I mean, I think those are three very, not safe, but I would say safe. Safe's the right word. I think those are three safe fighters, with Algeo being the most sketch one, but I don't even think he's sketch. It's just based on the odds. I think Algeo should be like minus 150 in this. Like Fili out is, I mean, he's doing me wrong. He's losing to good people. Sadiq Youssef, he beat Charles Jourdain, but is Jourdain really that good after what we've kind of seen? I don't know. He lost to Bryce Mitchell. Okay. He has accidental eye poke, draw to Daniel Pineda, and then lost to Joe Anderson Brito. It's just, as of late, his last fights haven't looked good. In my opinion, he hasn't looked good. And I think that's the bigger thing. It's not that he's losing, it's that he's not looking good. Bill Algeo, I mean, I think he always looks good. He puts up a fight no matter what, no matter who he's fighting. He goes hard, nonstop, puts the pressure on, puts the pace on. He fights for your money. That's why I like to back Algeo. But that's how I'm rolling. I'm going Algeo on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be a pretty close fight. Where, the winner is going to be sneaking out the rounds by doing a couple things at the end, the last 20, 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a takedown. Maybe it's a solid overhand right or uppercut. I'm going to agree with you. I really do like Bill Algeo. I think he's hitting his stride right now. His last loss is Ricardo Ramos. And, Ricardo Ramos is a stud, man. There ain't no shame in losing to Ricardo Ramos, who's only lost to freaking Lerone Murphy and Said Nurmagomedov. So, yeah, I'm on Bill Algeo. He's got the height advantage, but slight reach disadvantage. Andre Fili is coming off a knockout loss. And, it kind of comes down to, I'm just feeling Bill Algeo's momentum right now. He's really confident in his abilities. He absolutely dominated, other than, the triangle choke that was deep, but he proved that he can get out of those deep submissions. He's as durable as it gets. I think he's only been finished like once, and it was a rear naked choke to Shane Burgos in 2014. So that was like when he was like 24 years old.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm all over Bill Algeo. I like him in your parlay. I will probably have something similar. I think I might add Cory Sandhagen to your three-legger.
Hey, I don't hate that. You could hedge out at the end as well if you needed to. So.
Yep.
Can't be mad at that, right?
Nope.
All right, so we move to our next fight. We have Chidi Njokuani and Gregory Rodriguez. So here is a fight that I do not know how to feel about. We have Chidi, who is 3 years older, same height, and Chidi will have a 4-inch reach advantage. Chidi, the line has moved. He was the underdog. Now he's a minus 122 favorite. Rodriguez is a minus 102 underdog. I guess it's a pick 'em. I don't know how to feel about this fight. I think if Rodriguez is going to try to stand and strike, Chidi should dominate. He should look much better than a 122 favorite. But if Rodriguez is going to come with a grappling game, kind of like how he did against Marquez, he kind of grappled him in the beginning and then knocked him out. He got on the feet, finished him. Against Petrosian, he waited until like the mid-second round to get a takedown. So if he does that, I think he probably will lose. But I'm going to go Chidi here. The line's not too high yet, minus 122. It's not bad. I wish I would have got it when he was the other way around. I just honestly didn't look. But I'm going to rock with Chidi here. I think he should be better. And, last fight, we were talking about momentum. I think Chidi has tons of momentum. He had ground and pound finish over Marc-Andre Barriute, and then another finish over Dusko. So I just think the momentum's behind him. And Rodriguez doesn't possess insane skills that I think he can. I think Chidi should be able to exploit Rodriguez tonight or Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I think Chidi is riding a wave right now, and he's been finishing guys that have never been finished before. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And like Marc-Andre Barriault, dude, absolutely clubbed him, dude. Absolutely clubbed that man. And Gregory Rodriguez, he absolutely put on a beating on Julian Marquez. You can't say he's not improving. And so the one thing that's always going to linger in the back of my mind, though, is watching him get knocked out by Jordan Williams. And Jordan Williams does have a crazy power and all that, but that still was not a good look. And I think, if anything, Chidi Njokuani is probably like a 5 times better version than Jordan Williams. The one thing is, I think that, Rodriguez has proven to be really durable as of late, but I don't think that's going to matter. I think Njokuani is going to club this man. And I don't think he's going to get subbed in the first round. Maybe if he can tire Chidi, but Chidi went 3 rounds with, Souza in a striking match. I think Gregory would really have to tire him out wrestling or something like that to be able to really catch him and take him out. Because, like, if you look at his stats, too, let's look at his striking stats so far. He's got 73% striking accuracy, 4 strikes landed per minute, and he's got 56 defense. So, he's just super accurate so far. He hasn't been taken down yet. He's got this fucking big reach advantage. He's 3 years older. That's his really only negative. And he's been around longer. So I'm going to take Chidi. I already have a unit on him to win 2 because his knockout props plus 205. And go Chidi. I'm not going to parlay him, though.
Yeah, I like it, though. I like that play a lot. We move to the main event. We have Cory Sandhagen against Yadong Song. It's a very, very, very exciting fight here. Sandhagen minus 200, Yadong plus 143. So right here.
Wait, when did Yadong Song become the Kung Fu Monkey, bro?
I don't know. I didn't even know that was his nickname. It's a bit odd.
Sorry, go ahead.
Actually, he's not plus 143. He is plus 163. I was like, those numbers are too wide. Why is that? I was like, 143 is too close to the minus 200. It looked odd to me. But I like this fight. Yadong Song is 6 years younger, but he is going to be shorter by 3 inches and have a 3-inch reach disadvantage. Yadong Song has been, he's been fighting some good fighters: Julio Arce, Casey Kinney, Kyler Phillips, Marlon Vera, Marlon Moraes. So it's, he's fought and beat very good fighters. I can't take anything away from him. And he's only 24 years old, so he's just getting a lot better. Cory Sandhagen, his last 2 fights, in my opinion, I thought he beat TJ Dillashaw. I chalked it up to a win. Obviously, the books, it's not, but in my mind, I felt like he won. And he put up a great, great account against Peter Yan. He didn't really start getting kind of whooped on until like the mid 4th round. And so, I mean, he was able to hang and take punches. And I mean, honestly, he was able to hurt Jan and touch Jan up a lot. I think in this fight, I love Yadong Song, man. It's just, I don't know how I bet against Cory Sandhagen. But I think when it comes to striking, he's going to have the advantage because he's so dynamic. He's so different the way that he fights. Yadong Song is more traditional, like boxing, like Muay Thai, like striking. So he's more upright. It's a little bit less. He has good movement, but it's not like Sandhagen's. And then Sandhagen on the ground, I mean, his BJJ is nasty. So I think no matter where this fight goes, Sandhagen will be just as good or better. He's going to be longer, and he should have potentially more power. I don't know if he will, but he has the ability to have more power. I don't know. I just can't bet against Cory Sandhagen. I can't do it. So that's the way I'm going, is Sandhagen.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely on Sandhagen. I think what's really going to be the difference in this fight is that Cory Sandhagen's going to come at weird angles. He's going to land more strikes, and it's pretty much just going to be a striking battle throughout the whole fight, unless Yadong Song decides to take it down a little bit. But he doesn't really been looking to do that as of late. If I look at his last few fights, he is
he averages
zero
less
takedowns.
than I was gonna say he averages less than half a takedown a fight.
He has never gotten a takedown from where I see. He's gotten 2 takedowns against Vince Morales in 2018. It's probably when he first joined Team Alpha Male or something like that.
Yeah, he has a 0.45 takedown average.
So this is going to be a stand-up fight. Cory might even take him down or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think Cory's going to win. I don't think he's knocking him out though. I think it's probably going decision or maybe submission, man. Tinfoil hat, throw that on. I think maybe submission late. But that's mostly because Yadong Song's never been that 5 rounds, I don't think, from what I've seen in the UFC. Definitely hasn't. But yeah, it really comes down to the striking accuracy and the volume from Sandhagen, as well as I think he's going to be a little quicker and moving more. He's going to be harder to hit in this matchup specifically.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. I think the movement and the angles, like you said, that he'll be coming in are just different. Yadong Song is very traditional. He's a straight line fighter. A lot of bouncing, but straight line fighter. And Sandhagen bounces. He's going side to side. He's going front and back. He's throwing kicks. He's throwing spinning attacks. He's all over the place. He's a handful to deal with. So I agree with you. I want Sandhagen here.
Dope.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. We recapped 14 fights, who we think is going to win, who we bet on. Like I said, I had that 3-leg parlay of Zellhuber, Algeo, and Hernandez. I'm going to lock that in right now. I'll probably put a half a unit on it. Nothing crazy, but just half a unit to win like 3, or to win 2.5. Sorry. So.
Okay.
Or 1.5. I don't.
Odds are definitely moving. Odds are definitely been moving.
Yeah,
so it's better now than later.
Yeah, I'm gonna check my other. Let me see real quick.
Like Sabatini was like minus 190 earlier today. He's minus like 220 now.
Yeah, for sure. Let's check my other book. But all right, y'all. We will talk to you guys. Hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you later. Best of luck this weekend, folks.